I continue? So far I've mentioned information security and network security. We also have application security. Application security is the actual restriction and protection of an application that contains sensitive or any data that is either useful or not useful. And what I mean is that you've got an application in your phone, for example, the Messenger, an application that you use to send messages. Some of us will take it our life as a private life, even to our partners, to our wives, and to our husbands. Application security. This is the restriction and protection of your application that contains useful or non-useful information. The best example I can give is the message. It is written in different ways depending on the phone that you are using. There's a messenger, messages, hangout. In short, we're all talking about the messages that we share between you and your partners or the people. You can protect that information by encrypting your application or setting a password to your application whereby the people around you, for example, your wife, your husband, your partner, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, from getting access to your information in the Messages app. I'm sure we are all familiar with the application. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The application, I'm sure we all know the application. Yes. We can protect that application whereby I cannot read your messages by putting a password to that application. Have we understood? Yes. And the other one is we've got endpoint security, which is the security practice of securing endpoints of any points of end user devices such as desktops, laptops, and mobile devices from being exploited by malicious actors and campaigns. And what I mean by this is when I get my phone, when I get a laptop, when I get a desktop or any computer device, I can put a password on my gadget. If I use my phone, I'll lock it. I use it, immediately I'm from using that is the endpoint security. Immediately I'm from using it, I lock it. Are we understanding? Yes. And the other one is the internet security. Internet security is the restriction and protection of your internet or online activities such as bank transactions or any other forms of transactions from other users, from unrestricted people such as hackers, people that you don't know, people that know your details and the information about you, but you can protect your internet from being hacked. You can also give an example of the data bundle. When you switch on data, you can also switch on the Wi-Fi by mistake, the hotspot by mistake, but someone can access your information without you knowing. Someone can access your data and begin to use it, even more than you are using your data. Whereby you can put the password on your hotspot. If your hotspot doesn't have a password, someone can access it. I'm sure some of us have been doing that in town, whereby you just discover your phone is vibrating. It receives a notification to say there is Wi-Fi network available. You even have access to it because that is not secured. That's what is meant by internet. Also, the online banking, the online transactions, we are protected or we secure that by putting a password to our accounts. Whenever we are about to change the password, I'm sure it requires certain personal information that you haven't shared it to someone, unless those special people you consider to be very special. Yes. Thank you. It's important because it secures our information, our very important information. We won't lose it as long as we protect it. Imagine you have been given an assignment and someone asks your phone and deletes everything in it, whereby you are supposed to submit the assignment 1 hour before. So let's all make sure that we protect our computers, The computer isn't only the laptop, the desktop. Your phone is also a computer because it operates smartly where to the point whereby you cannot reach.
Also known as Kalandanya Music Promotion. We are going to be talking about the processor. So before we even talk about the processor, it will be very appropriate that we define what a computer is. So now, a computer is an electronic device built with systems that accepts inputs or data
processor, you can't work on a computer. So, right.
So I was trying to define what a computer is. Because minus knowing what a computer is, you won't understand what the processor is. Like I was saying, a computer is an electronic device built with systems that accepts inputs, processes them, and gives out outputs, also known as what? Information. So now, we won't be talking about this, but we'll be talking about this, which is the processor. Yeah, so if you'll be making noise, you won't get anything, and it won't be my fault. My fault, let me say. Yeah. Listen. There are different types of computers with different processing speed. However, they all have a processor which makes a computer to work with less human intervention. This is called the processor or microprocessor. A processor is a special electronic circuit or chip with instructions for directing the operations of the computer. Because the processor already has instruction embedded. A processor already has instructions embedded in it. It is called a programmed circuit.
Tell us.
Yeah. A chip is a tiny slice of semiconducting material used to make an integrated circuit. The internal parts of the processor is called the CPU. So the internal part of the processor is known as what?
CPU!
I can't get you.
CPU!
So the CPU, there are abbreviations, but it's called what?
Central Processing Unit.
So functions of the processor. 1, to direct the performance of all the other computer units. I repeat, to direct the performance of all other computer units. Which other units am I talking about? Which is the input and the output. The other one, the processor does this by issuing specific instructions to the other units indicating what and how they must do it. The flow of instructions from the processor is shown below. Already the way it is indicated. There is the input, the processor, and this is the whole computer. Like the way they were explaining, you listen. You press your binaries the way they were explaining, the on, the what. But this is what is going to translate to give you what?
The information.
The output, also known as what?
Information.
Thank you. It receives input and provides the appropriate output. Parts of the processor. Parts of the processor. Parts of the processor. Control unit. There's a control unit, also known as what? CU. Come on. Then there is arithmetic and logic unit. Random access memory. Read-only memory. Come on. Then there's basic input-output system. Thank you. Registers of the CU. Hope we are moving together. Then functions of the parts of the processor. The control unit, which is the CU. Be attentive, please. Controls all functions of the computer. 1. 2. Controls all operations of input-output systems. Controls movement of data in the computer. It configures and optimizes RAM to ensure that it works efficiently. 2. The arithmetic and logic unit, which is the ALU. Functions of the ALU. Functions of the ALU. This is the unit that does the actual processing of data. It processes data by doing arithmetic and logic operations. It processes data by doing arithmetic and logic what? Operations. Arithmetic means adding, subtraction, multiplication, and what? Division. Logic means comparing things so as to make appropriate what? Choices. Thank you. The CU and the ALU are made on the same computer chip called the what? Central Processing Unit, which is also known as what? CPU. You are acting very intelligent. C. I'm from explaining the what? The CU, the ALU. Now we are going to where? The RAM, which is? Thank you. RAM is a temporary watch. Thank you. When power is switched off, listen. When power is switched off, everything is erased from the RAM. Therefore, it is called the volatile water memory.
All right. Repeat it. We didn't get that one.
Listen, you are making noise. Act intelligent.
We didn't get that
Sir,
one.
tell them to act intelligent. Listen. When power is switched off, everything is erased from the RAM. Therefore, it is called a volatile memory.
Tell us.
Then functions of the RAM. Functions of the RAM. Functions of the RAM.
Yes.
Receiving raw data from input. Raw data from the input. It receives raw data from
Input.
What does this mean?
Tell us.
When you press a command on a computer, you press a command. Where do you press a command from? On the keyboard. Where else? The mouse. Where else? Thank you. So when you press a command, it is the RAM that processes what you have pressed on your computer.
Noted.
Of which we are saying receiving raw data from what? Thank you. The other function of the RAM, receiving processed data from the what? From the ALU. We know what the ALU is. Storing instructions required by the CU. We know what the CU is. Holding data awaiting output. It holds data awaiting what? What does this mean? You press your computer. Pa, 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 pa. Maybe your RAM, maybe it's weak. Guys, your RAM, maybe it's not that much. Yeah, my RAM's yes, yeah. Maybe your computer, when you press, you have to wait for 5 minutes. Some of you, your computers act as if they are the first generation of which you press. You have to wait for 5 minutes for it to process. So now, information that is being processed is held by the what? By the RAM, awaiting to be what? To be processed. Hope we are moving together.
Yes.
Then the other function of the RAM is holding data awaiting what? Storage. So maybe you are transferring data from your phone to a computer, courtesy of a data cable.
Yes.
So now, when the data is still moving from a phone to a computer, it is stored in a RAM temporarily because it hasn't yet finished transferring. So it is the RAM that keeps that information before it is transferred into what? Into your computer. Hope we are moving together.
Yes.
Functions of the read-only memory, which is what? ROM. Mine. Thank you. It stores instructions that are used to start the computer. I repeat, it stores instructions that are used to start the what? The computer. ROM. Instructions in ROM cannot be what? Cannot be erased. Instructions in the ROM cannot be what? Cannot be erased. Yeah. During startup, the computer follows instructions in the ROM to do the following. Listen. Listen, you're making noise.
We are listening.
I'll present this to the lecturer. Mzasi mzapunzila. Bazati chonga si mzapunzila. So now, during startup, the computer follows instructions in ROM to do the following. Read the amount of RAM present. This is why some of you, those with computers, have you ever tried to remove your RAM in your laptop? What happens when you remove your RAM in your laptop? Then you try to switch it on. What happens?
It just produces a sound.
It does what?
It just produces a sound.
It doesn't switch on. So, and this is one function. Read the amount of RAM present in a computer. So if there's no RAM in your computer will not what? Will not turn on. Another, check the monitor, keyboard and mouse if are connected and working. Check that components on the motherboard are working properly. Who has ever removed a fan in their computer and they try to switch it on? Huh?
You should go and try.
The computer will ask you if you want to switch it on or off. So that's the function of the what? We are moving together then. We are moving together. Check that the hard disk drive is connected and working. If you remove the hard drive from your computer, you won't power on also. Yeah. Load the operating system software in RAM from storage. Then I'll call upon the other presenter to come and give you other
Function of the RAM. So now we are going, my name is One Doll. That's my name. One Doll. Yes. So now we are just, you know I'm shy, so communication there for now. So these are the function of the RAM. So the other one is the BIOS. How does it work? So the BIOS stands for basic input or output system, like the way demonstrated there. A BIOS is a unit, usually part of the ROM, which keeps the specification of a computer, such as hard disk, memory size, and the processor speed, how the speed of the processor is. So this is the work of the BIOS, the computer. So now, we'll look at how the CU and the how the CU and the RAM work together. Okay? How CU, RU, and RAM work together. How do they work together? So the CU fetches an instruction from the RAM. The CU, it fetches the instruction from the RAM and puts it into the CIR, which is a current instruction register. So when you are asked to say, the RAM puts the CIR current of the register. So CIR. The other one is the CU, the code interprets the instruction and the communication with the R. They work together. So the CU, the code interprets, it instructs the communication with the R. So these things work together. And CU directs the RAM. The CU directs the RAM to send data to R. So the CU directs the RAM to send the data to the R. The other one is the R. So the other thing is that the R processes data and places the processed data in its accumulator. Yes, are you getting me? Yes. The other thing is the CU directs the R to send the processed data to output storage. We are that's explaining how this works from here to there. That's the yeah, this is the information. I was just trying to explain this whole thing. Yeah? Yes. This is my first time prepared to be me the lab. So now the other part is the registers of the CPU. The register on the registers are temporary storage location. The CPU, right? I'm on a CPU. The register, one used because they work faster than those who are laughing. You dodged, you dodged. Because within the CPU, the data and the instruction must be transferred very quickly. The CPU places current instructions and data in the register. Some of the registers of the CPU are, so you should be very, very attentive. The current instruction register, that is a CIR, in the CU, to order an instruction being obeyed to process data.
Tell us.
Yes. So the other thing is that the memory data register, that's the MDR in the CU, used to hold data currently being processed. So the other one is accumulator in the R. And and is used to hold data that has just been processed. You've got the arrow. Yes. And the other one is the memory address register. That's MAR. Is the CU used to hold the address of the data being processed. Are you getting me?
Yes.
So the other thing is the processor buzzers. Okay, I'll just go on the types of the processor fast. We've got 4 types of processor. Just naming the few. We've got micro control processor and microprocessor, embedded processor, and the digital signal processor. That's the DSP. I repeat.
Continue.
So now I need to explain about the microprocessor. The microprocessor is the fundamental process of the system. It's dominated by the microprocessor, incorporated in the embedded system, comprises the RCU and the core of the register known as control register. Are you getting me?
Yes.
The other one is the micro central processor. It learns and reacts it in computing. This one I want you to write. My handwriting. Okay.
Yes.
So the other one, I'll go on embedded processor. It controls the electrical and the mechanical function of the computer. So other one is the digital signal processor, which is the DSP. The last one is not the least. It's the digital signal processor. It is used for filtering, measuring, compressing analog and digital signal. Any question, please? No question.
I'm in group 4 Guys,
Hey.
so my name is Nelson.
Quiet.
My friend is in research on the operating system. And before we get into the operating system, we have to understand what a computer is. So a computer is an electronic programmed device that stores, processes, and retrieves data. So in relation to an operating system which is found in the computer, we can define an